It's well known that most scientific progress is based on forbidden knowledge. Specifically, scientists are doing all of their research using illegally downloaded papers. I know this is true because I read about it in an illegally downloaded scientific paper. But why are scientists turning to crime to access papers? And what are the specific techniques scientists are using to retrieve papers? That's what we'll be going over in today's video. But remember, this video is for informational purposes only. All of the information in this video can be found freely on the internet. And remember, you shouldn't illegally download papers unless you want poor people to have access to scientific knowledge. But first, we need to understand the concept of closed versus open access. Under the closed access system, taxpayer dollars fund scientific research. Taxpayer dollars are then used to pay a fee to publish this taxpayer-funded research. And then taxpayer dollars are used just to be able to read this research. It's like if you paid to subscribe to a newspaper, where the reporters paid to publish their articles, and the editors paid to edit the articles. This has to be one of the best business models of all time, and the profit margins can be higher than Apple, Google, or Amazon. This is why some scientists have moved away from closed access publishing and towards open access publishing. Open access allows for articles to be available for free. For articles that are open access, they'll have a download PDF link on the page. Clicking this button will give you access to these papers. At number 2, we have the Unpaywall browser extension. This allows you to legally download freely available papers, which means you probably won't even need to look for the open access link. Simply go to unpaywall.org to download the browser extension. If your paper is freely available, a green icon will show up. Click on the icon to download the paper and have your lab mates look upon you in reverence. At number 3, we have Sci-Hub, the Pirate Bay of science papers. This site was originally created in 2011 by Alexandra Elbakan, a Kazakh hacker queen, who was so frustrated with closed access that she created a website that contained almost all of the world's scientific articles. This made the journals very unhappy and they decided to sue her, and they successfully won $15 million in damages. However, she hasn't paid these damages due to the sound legal strategy of not being able to be extradited from Kazakhstan. If someone wanted to download an article from Sci-Hub, first they would copy the DOI or Digital Object Identifier of the paper. They would then find the Sci-Hub website after searching for it on Google, where they would paste the DOI in the search box. If Sci-Hub has the paper, it will show up here, at which point you may become so happy that you decide to make poor life choices. At number 4, we have Anna's Archive, the new Sci-Hub. With Sci-Hub under constant legal scrutiny, scientists started to become scared. Their fears were realized when Sci-Hub announced they would stop uploading new papers, at least until the results of their Indian court case are known. Sci-Hub believes they can win their Indian court case, which would effectively make their site legal in India. But like Metallica found out in the early 2000s, information wants to be free. As a result, Anna's Archive was created, a less removable version of Sci-Hub, created by a group of super anonymous hackers. It has even more papers than Sci-Hub. To get their papers, scientists go to Anna's Archive, where they enter the DOI number into the search field. If the archive has the paper, it will show up here. At number 5, we have Nexus, the decentralized Anna's Archive. Occasionally, papers cannot be found on Anna's Archive, leaving scientists confused and frustrated. This resulted in a somewhat mysterious project known as Nexus STC, which might be even less removable than Anna's Archive. Nexus articles are stored on the IPFS or Interplanetary File System, which means that taking down part of the system will not take down the whole network. Theoretically, an asteroid could hit the Earth and the data would be saved on another planet. Nexus uses bots on Telegram to find papers. The names of these bots are always changing and, due to legal reasons, I cannot tell you which names to search for. Once a bot is found, you can communicate with it by posting the DOI. If Nexus has the paper, a PDF download button will show. At number 6, we have the Scholar subreddit, the Science Pirate Bay of Reddit. This allows scientists to request papers from their peers, at which point the paper will be posted. Typically, this option is only used when none of the other options works. This subreddit has been online for over 10 years, so apparently it's legal? I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Posters must follow strict posting guidelines, including a tag, the title of the article, and its DOI. Once someone has found the article, you must change the flair of your post to found. And just like that, strict paywall security is bypassed. At number 7, we have social networks where people can share papers with their friends. We normally think of Facebook as a place that's useful for scamming the elderly. But did you know that scientists are using it to share papers with each other? The cleverly named Ask for PDFs from People with Institutional Access Facebook group allows scientists to ask for help from people whose institutions have paid subscriptions to journals. Upon asking for a scientific article, one of 120,000 people will respond with a PDF. Based on recent uploads, this group seems to be pretty active, but they're not the only social network that helps scientists. There are secret groups of scientists on chat apps helping each other get articles. For legal reasons, I cannot tell you what the names of these groups are, but for doctors and researchers, it's not unusual for them to have access to these groups. In this video, we talked about the top forbidden ways that scientists use to get papers. Do you have any ideas for videos I should do in the future? Let me know in the comments. And remember to like and subscribe to support me.